Welcome back to part 2 of our tutorial where we are going to build a web store with the new Brizy e-commerce editor. In the first part I showed you how you have to install WooCommerce, how to set up 2 additional payment gateways and how to configure WooCommerce. And in part 2 right now we are going to build the website around the shop. So if you're just interested in how to build the shop using Brizy, you can jump ahead to part 3. But trust me, this might be still interesting for you because maybe you learn a trick or two you didn't know that was possible with Brizy. So let's just start. We ended up here with using Blocksy. And now we are going to create our website. So let's turn off all these informations and jump to our dashboard. There currently says 2 updates. This is just the Brizy updates, so we can ignore them because I know there's a new version of Brizy. But currently, the moment where I'm filming this tutorial, the e-commerce editor isn't released yet, so I have to stick with the beta, and this is the reason why WordPress tells us here we need to update Brizy, so we don't have to do this at all. First things first, I created some nice little lookups for our website. So I have some nice images and some nice videos we can use. So let's jump into everything, and first of all we jump into media. You see my media library looks a little bit different than usual. This is the nice power of Happyfiles. So I'm going to just drag and drop all the videos or the images are created. But first of all, what we want to do, we want to enhance our images, and for that I go to TinyPNG. TinyPNG is a free service you can use for images up to 5 megabytes if you are not paying. But from my experience, TinyPNG has the best results if you want to update your files. Oh, as you can see, we have some are larger than 5 megabytes, so that won't work. But the rest looks nice. We saved 53%. So let's download these files, and I'm going to add them to my library. And what I'm going to do, you can't see it right now because I'm doing it on the other monitor. I'm going to resize the images that have been too large right now. I'm going to resize them down to 1920 pixels. And to use that, to do that, I'm using the Faststone image viewer. It's a free tool and offers a great way to quickly resize images in bulk. Okay, so one more time. $19.20. And we're done. Okay, now we can also optimize the other images that have been too large. And as you can see now, they are 2 megabytes each, so that's very nice. And here you see now the power of tiny PNG, we have more than 90% image reduction, size reduction, but we keep the quality. So this is very important. And now we have nice images, small images we can use and upload here into our website. So drag and drop. And up here you can see the progress bar, and Happyfiles informs you how the status is of your uploads. And we're done. So how does working with Happyfiles work? We have here our categories, and I'm going to start a new category, and this one I'm going to call home. Oh no, let's call them pages. Create. And under pages, I'm going to create another one, and this one I call home. And here I'm now he's showing me all uncategorized images, and all I do is just drag and drop this one here. And then, as you can see, now I only have in the home section this single image. And you can imagine if you have here some 1,000 images, how helpful it is to know where you have each image used. So we're going to use this one here right now. I also have EPS file, but we don't use this right now. Yeah, well, this one is our main image we use for our homepage. So let's jump into pages. Here we have the basic pages created by WooCommerce, by our installation, by our setup wizard. So let's add a new page, and we call this page home. Save draft and edit with Brizy. So, like I said in the part 1 tutorial, we are going to build only with Brizy in this tutorial. So, first thing we want to add is a header. So let's jump into the header section and pick something nice. What I personally like to do if I'm going to work with the shop, I'm picking this header here because it offers me 2 different menus. And here in the center, I'm working with the main menu. And here on the right hand side, I'm going to add all the meta stuff. So stuff like log in, your account, log out, things like that. And that way I have them all a little bit separated. And it's easier for the user to navigate. And you don't have everything so hard cranked up there. First thing, I want to change from sticky to fixed. Fixed means our header stays wherever you place it. I placed it here on top, so it stays on top. It works as a sticky for header. But the problem, if you have a sticky header here, by default it is set to sticky. If you're going to scroll down, let's add here some blocks. You see now, this is the sticky header element, and you also have to change it. So if you make changes to your header, you have to remember, oh, I don't have just to change the basic header. You also have to scroll down a little bit and then change the sticky header. But if I'm turning this one here to fixed, as you see, we are scrolling down and it stays where it is. So there's no switching between the basic header and the static header, the sticky header. And so I don't run into this problem that I'm going to forget to change the second header. And if you want to work with a sticky, you still can do that. But I would advise you to change the way how your header is shown the last thing you do on the website while you're working on it. Okay, so let's delete this one again. So this now is our header. We also need a footer. So if we're going to work on a shop, you have some basic things you usually have to show, like your shopping details, how you deliver. Maybe you have to say a little bit about refunds, stuff like that. So for a shop, I usually love to use one of these footers, because here you can add now all these informations, and you have your social stuff on the right side, and that's all. People are used to find these informations on the end of a page, so stick to what people are used to, and you run as good as never into any troubles. Next thing we want to do, we're going to make the footer global, and we're going to make our header global. And once they are global, you now notice here is this tiny world symbol that says, okay, this part is global. We now have here the display conditions. And in display conditions, currently it is set to pages and home. We don't want that. We want to show it on all. That's very important, because I noticed that in the community often people are complaining that their headers are not showing everywhere and they don't know why, and stuff like that. And in 99.9% this was set up wrong. So you want to show your header on every single page. If you have, for example, a special landing page, then you can add another display condition and say, okay, on my page, let's pretend this would be our landing page. I want to exclude this one. So you have very, very, very specifically the way to say where you want to show your headers, your footers, stuff like that. So in our case, we want to include it on all pages. So we hit save, and that's it. Same thing we do with our footer. Click the first icon, go to display conditions, and here again you see it's just set to pages home, and we don't want that. We want all. If you have this, for example, what he suggests, pages all, you might miss out on some of the other pages. For example, on a archive page or stuff like that. So just keep it to all and you're fine. So whenever we are going to create a new website right now, we will get a page with these two elements on them. So we can already start to design them a little bit. Talking about design, you have here on the left-hand side the styling setting. I'm going to click this, and here now you can see you have your basic colors, and you have current styles you can switch through. So as you can see, it doesn't just change here the colors, it also changes all how the text is showing and stuff like that. And this is really a very, very powerful tool. So if you are careful and think about how you work with Brizy and you work with these color setups, they will always work the same. So let me show what I mean. Let's take this contact. I'm going to switch this one to the light blue. So as you can see, contact is now light blue. If we are going to get back here into the styling, and let's say, for example, take this one, as you now can see, the color changed to what we have set up here. But if you go in here and now let's pick something completely different, for example, green, a darker green so we can see it. Okay, you see now contact is green. I'm going back into my styling, and now let's jump to chubby, for example, you see here is no green in this palette, but this still is green. So if you are working with colors, try mainly to use what you see in this line below, because then you have the nice beauty that, for example, you can set up a new color scheme. For example, for winter, you want more blue tones and more whites and stuff like that. And in the spring, you want, I don't know, light green and yellow stuff and things like that. All you have to do, open one page in Brizy, pick a new color setting, hit activate, update, and your whole website will change in the look. So if you want to change a color here, because you need something different, change the color always here and not on the page itself. So let's start with Brizy default. This will be our starting point. So I'm going to set up some colors already. And we want our footer and the background. So we jump to overlay, and here I'm going to make this one in a dark gray. And so we change here our text to white. So we can read it very nicely. And here, as you can see, it's using the dark blue, but dark blue and dark gray doesn't really fit nice. So let's choose for this one the light blues. And this call us now line, we also want to make in white. Okay, and this looks pretty nice right now. And as you can see, if we are going to, well, let's save this first. And now if we are going to change, for example, to this one, now you see we have everything in a green tone and the design still matches up. So this is a pretty nifty thing with the global colors. If you work with them, they work for you. Okay, so we are still here on our homepage. So let's add a block to greet our new customers. So let's add an image as background. And let's jump to the media library. Uncategorized home. Here is our home image. So we select this one, and now we have our home image. This I'm going to set to fixed. Fixed means it stays even if you scroll around, stuff like that. The image will always be the same. And I'm doing this for a specific reason, and I'm going to show you later why. So next thing we want to add is a text field. And here we start typing welcome to our great. Now duplicate this one. And here we call this tea shop. Okay, welcome to our great tea shop. And this is a little bit hard to read, so let's change this one to heading 1. Typography only changes the look of the text, not the tag of the text. And I'm going to show you in a second why I'm using this one. So let's add another row. And in this row, we're going to add our first line there. And we add another row. And here we're going to add our tea shop. And now I can say exactly where it says. I want to have them as close together as possible, so I'm going to set the padding to 0. Margin already is set to 0. So same thing here. Let's jump into the settings, set it to 0. And let's do the same for the column. So let's set this one to 0. And let's set this one also to 0. Okay, now we have welcome to our great T-shop. I think there's team shop. Okay, see, that's the problem. We can't read the stuff that is standing there. So let's change the color. For example, let's go white. Yeah, well, and already it's better to read. Next thing we want to do, or we want to think about, is styling. Do people that come to our website right now get the feeling we want to create with this basic looking font? Well, personally, I don't think so. So let's jump back into the styling table, go down here to heading 1. And here in the section where we can pick our fonts, let's add a new font. And I want to upload. And I call this one, well, we can call it however we want. Let's call this one head 1. Oh no, let's call this one head main. Continue. And here we're going to pick our true type font. And in this case, I want this Shanghai font. So let's hit add font. This is just the normal thing. I don't have this in other weights. So there's a free font. They usually only come in the basic. So we now uploaded this font and we're going to choose this one. And as you can see, since I'm changing it here in the styling tab, already it changed on our website, exactly what we wanted to do. And next thing, we want to have it a little bit larger. So we have now welcome to our great T-shop. Good, this looks nice. And next thing, important, let's pretend our shop's name is T-shop. Well, it's a boring name and a stupid name. Don't call your T-shop T-shop. But just for the sake of the tutorial, let's call it T-shop. And now we are going to go here into the HTML tag and we set the T-shop to H1. You can have basically as many H1 tags as you want, but it's always good only to have one. If you have more, well, basically at worst it confuses. So just use this one as H1 in the HTML tag. And this one here we can leave as paragraph. It's nice. It doesn't hurt. Some SEO tools might spit out now an error message and say, oh my god, your H1 tag isn't the first on the page. That's the situation and the perfect way where you show your SEO tool the middle finger, because where you add your H1, no one cares. So we have this T-shop now as our H1, so this is the main keyword we want to rank on. Okay, and we welcome here now our page visitors. Next thing, what we want to do on our homepage, we want to introduce them and tell them why they shall shop with us. And first of all, I think there the green looks somehow better. Now you can see we have a little problem because I changed the color scheme, and not just the colors changed, also our text looks different. So this is one thing you have to think about if you're going to change through the different styles. You have to make sure that the typography changes stay the same as you had them in your old style, or you might ruin the look of your page. Okay, so welcome to our great T-shop. Let's make the T-shop a little bit more popping out. So we're going to jump here into shadow and give it a greenish shadow. So this looks nice. And for up there to help better read it, we give it a darker shadow. So now our font really pops into our face and we can read it much better. So next thing, I'm going to clone this whole block. And as you can see, this now is the nice thing about the fixed image. Even if we have two blocks here right now, it doesn't look like that. The background stays as it is. So what we want to do here, we want to talk a little bit about our shop and why people should shop with us. Pardon. So we're going to add a row. Where is it? Here is it. And on the left side, I want to show an image. And on the right side, we want to have our text. So let's here add a text block. And we call this one our story. And our story also becomes white, centered, and, well, H2. Okay, this is now our story and it looks horrible. So let's jump into here, H2. Again, use our Shanghai font. The size, well, might be okay. Let's pump it a little bit up to 40 pixels, maybe 45. Okay, this now is our story. Here comes an image and we have some yada yada text. So this is the text. At the moment we have the problem that the text isn't very good to read, even if I'm going to make it a little bit darker. People usually enjoy a dark text on a white background. That helps our eyes to relax and to read the text. So what do we want to do? We want to work here now with an overlay. So I'm going to add white. And the opacity slider, I'm going to pull it down for about 50%. Now you can see the text is very readable, but we still see the beautiful image in the background. And if people are scrolling through, you now have this separation between these segments. So that also helps and is a little bit of a optical divider. So here with our image, we want to change the border, add a black border and a green shadow. Even if you just see it very barely. And now we need one of our images. So we get here into the all files and now we think about what image would look great there. So let's pick this one, for example. Now we have this beautiful, nice image there. And here comes our story. So let's make the story a little bit longer, shall we? For that, we are going to add some blind text. 100 words looks nice. So let's pick this one. Okay, now we have here our blah blah blah. To make it a little bit more interesting, well, you can center it. It's still very blocks looking-y. Well, at the moment, this is nice. I'm not sure about our story. Maybe we also give it a little shadow, so this is better to read. Okay, now we have here our story. We have the welcome part. Let's add another block. So I'm lazy, so I'm going to copy this one. And here in the block section over there, what I'm going to do is just move this one up. And now we can work with the lower block here. And there I want to show our top products. So let's do that. Problem is right now we have no top products. So let's jump here into our product line and let's add some dummy products. So we call this one product 1. And let's pick a product image. For example, this one. Oh no, let's check this one. Okay, and we add the category, for example, mugs. So now we have the category mugs. This is our product image. So we need some text there. This is a longer text section, so you want to tell people how amazing your mugs are. So let's add here a longer text. This is the short version of the text before, so let's make this one really short. Let's say 45 words. So now we have here our short text. This is a simple product, so we have a regular price. For example, let's say 55 euros. 35. And since we are starting with our shop, we want to make a sale out of it, and let's make the sale 29. Okay, now you see you have here something popped up. It's called schedule. So you can say from when to when the schedule is. If you have here a final date, for example, let's add here Halloween. And we start from yesterday on. Once we hit November, this mug will cost 35 euros again. Okay, inventory. Here you can add your product number, so you find it, for example, if you have a tool to manage your warehouse. So let's call this one MG45. Manage stock. Yes, we want to manage stock. Currently we have 150 of them. Allow back orders. That says if it's out of stock, can people back order it. And if they can, you notify the customer. And if you just put it to allow, once you are already in stock, WooCommerce will automatically sell it to the customer. So if you want to allow it, usually pick notify customer. If you stay to allow, customers now can purchase the product, and then you send it out as soon as it's there. So currently we don't allow. Low stock threshold, that's the warning sign. So let's pick this one 5 times. Once you have hit 5 in your stock, you get an extra badge on the product, and it says very rare or soon sold out, stuff like that. Wait, you need this, for example, if you want to add more information to your product. Might be useful for some products, but mainly you need stuff like that. For example, if you work with different shipping classes. Then you say up to 5 kilograms, for example, you are going to sell it by parcel. And over 10 kilograms, for example, you are going to send it with a very special delivery company. So let's add this one here as weight 1 kilograms. Dimensions, the length, well, let's say it's 15 centimeters. The width is 15 centimeters since it's round. And the height is 20 centimeters. Shipping class, we haven't added any shipping classes, so we leave this one there. Linked products, well, these are upsales. Currently we have just this one product we are editing, so there's nothing there. Attributes you can add, for example, let's say, let's add one here, and let's call this one material. And this one is, well, let's say it's an aluminium mug. So, here under advanced, you have additional purchase notices, menu orders. So if there's something you really want always on top of everything, you can here, for example, add a 1. And yes, we want to enable reviews. Get more options is just another thing from WooCommerce to sell you more of their plugins, so we don't need that. And we don't, well, let's add a product gallery, why not? So this one, no, let's pick the same image. I just don't have so many images of marks. Well, we can grab one. Let's go to Unsplash. Unsplash is a very nice and free stock image database, and here let's call for marks. Yeah, well, we have some marks there. Let's add, for example, this one there. Those with the marshmallows. And, well, yeah, these look cute. Okay, so we now pick these images. Let's download them in medium size, so they're already 1920. Save file, and I'm going to create a new order, so I know these are the dirty images we have to optimize. So save file, and there we go. Now we need to go to TinyPNG again. And here I'm going to add our 3 images. You see, they came out already pretty small, but TinyPNG managed to make them even smaller. We saved nearly 50% on these images. And you might now think, well, that's basically just a little bit more than 300 kilobytes. But scale that up. If you have a shop with, let's say, 1,000 products, and every product has 3 images, you have 3,000 images just for the products. And if you haven't optimized them, your website becomes huge. And you don't want that. So let's copy these files in. And here, well, this product is done. Let's publish this one. Then we jump to our media file. And here under all files, let's add these 3 marks. 1, 2, and 3. And what I'm also going here to create is a new category, and we call this one products. Create, and here we create a new one we call Max. And now we have here the option to bulk select, so we want this one, this one, this one, this one. Yeah, these are the 4 things, and we move them all to max. And well, let's move this one there too. Okay, so products. Let's edit this product again. And now we can change here, delete the image and use a different one. So I had to refresh the page because WooCommerce, WordPress still had the old media library in the selection. So now this works. Let's update this thing. And we're done. So let's have a look into all our products and duplicate this product number 1. And obviously we call the second product product 2. Leave everything as is. All we need to do is just kick out the images and replace them with something else. So let's make this one this image, and let's change the attribute. Currently it says material aluminium, and we call this one ceramic. Save attributes, publish, and we have our second product. So let's duplicate this one, and now we change the prices a little bit. Let's make this one up and so, and add a new product image. Let's pick this one there. We call this one product 3, and we publish. So last but not least, product 4. Again, change the image. I think these are the other ones, and this ones are the cheap ones. So you get them for just 20 euros. Okay, so let's publish this one too. And they're done. Now we have here all our products. So let's jump back into Brizy, save the draft, update the page by pressing F5. Okay, now everything new got loaded in. And what we want to do now is we add here a text field. We call this one our top products. Make this white again. Heading 1, but HTML tag P2. Center this thing, and we give it a black background. Oops, that was the color. Shadow black. So now we have here our top products. Okay, and then now we add progress products under the settings WooCommerce. Here you see it, and we are dragging this one over there, and here you see now we have 3 products to choose from. So first of all, we can change if we just want to show 1 or up to 6. Well, currently we have 4 marks, so let's go to 4, and we just want to show 1 row. In the filter, we add here marks, and we order them by, well, let's say menu order, popularity, rating, date, title. Okay, and as the navigation, we don't need any pagination. We can do that, for example, if we go down to 2, then we now can say, okay, we want here people to go through, but we want to show all 4. So this is that. Let's check again. We have the filter set. Okay, good. Now what we want to do is to make this a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to edit just this one column, and as you can see in a moment, if I'm going to edit just this, all the others change also, because these are dynamic elements. And now we have a white background. I'm going to make it a little bit, raise the opacity a little bit more. So let's go to 50% as we had before. Next thing I want to do, I want to show a border, and I want to show a shadow. So now they are all crammed together, and this looks really stupid. So let's go to the more settings and add a margin of 5 pixels. And there you go. Now you can see we have here nice individual cards, but they're not individual enough for me. So I'm going to add here the corner section. And now I'm going to edit the upper left corner and add it to 15 pixel, and the lower right corner and also add 15 pixel. And now what you see, we now have here 2 round edges and 2 normal edges. So this gives everything a little bit more interesting look. But, well, to make it really pop out, let's choose 50 pixels. Okay, now you notice them. Good, but you also notice our image already also touches here the round edge, and we don't want that. So let's add a little more margin up there. Let's go to 20 pixels. Looks good. Okay, now these are our top products, and people, well, can hover over them and get some information. Unfortunately, you don't know what this one is. You hope it is the price, but to be honest, we can't know. So, to be sure that we know what's standing there, well, we have to look in the preview. So, welcome to our great T-shop. T-shop greenish stands a little bit more out. And we can scroll through here and we see nothing. Great. Why don't we see anything? Because we haven't saved the draft. There we go. Okay, now you can see these are our images. We have here product 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have the price, view or buy. So if we click on that, then you see this currently is how Blocksy is going to show the products. Okay, at least he shows our products and it works. Good to know. Well, maybe you want to show a little bit more than just the product name and the price. So what we also can do, scroll down all the way down to the WooCommerce section and the product section. Right now we want the product section. And here in the product section you have this little helper, and we just drag it in beneath home. And here now you can see you can edit the text. So, well, basically we're working with paragraphs, so I want the paragraph to be in a dark color, so it's better to read. And here we want this one in the dark green. Well, that's a little bit hard to read. Let's keep them white. And as hover, we want to make them dark. Okay, talking about hover, why shouldn't we make the experience a little bit more interesting by changing the way how our product cards look when people hover? So we open again the color setup, and here you can see we can switch between hover and normal. So let's switch to hover, and currently our overlay is white. Let's make the current overlay when we hover green. Let's keep it at 50%, that's nice. And here, when you move the mouse over it, now you see, okay, things are really going to change. And there we see a difference. If we make this one black now, it's better to read. And if we hover, we make it white. So if we hover now, here you see it, it's white. So much better to read. But we can go a little bit further here. So currently we have a border is our dark, well, blackish one. So let's change this one to, well, maybe purple. And our shadow is this one, and let's change the shadow to this one. So this pops out quite nice, but I want to change the shadow color more to this one, and the border maybe more to this one. And this looks much better. Okay, now we have here our little hover element. Let's save the draft and have a look. Okay, but as you see, no text. Why don't we have any text? Oh, stupid me. Because I added the wrong element. What we want to show is breadcrumbs, reviews, archives, title. Content is the large one. Well, no, it was the right one, but we have to change we have to add in our products also the texts. So let's edit them. And we go down here. And currently there are no excerpts. So let's go to screen options, custom fields. Seems really there are no excerpts anymore. Okay. So we just have the short description. That's unfortunate. But well, what's store setup? Okay, then he goes there. No, that isn't very helpful at all. So we have no excerpts anymore. Are there other things we can show instead? Well, let's try. We have the price already, title, content. Now this is really the long content. We don't need that one. So it could be that it isn't just showing because this is the beta and it was one of the bugs. So I have to check in later, and I will write something down in the comments about how you can show the short description of the product, because usually it should show up here. Okay, let's say for now we have here our top products, and this is how the page currently looks. We have the mouse hovers, and well, everything looks nice so far. So let's add another interesting section for our clients. So I'm going to copy this one, and again I'm going to move this one around, so we're here a little bit down below, and there I want to change the image again, and this time let's add something that's a little bit longer. So we make this one, and here we say learn all about tea. Okay, and here there comes a text with an introduction that we're going to send out a newsletter regularly on a regular base. And there we are sending out informations about tea, the different ways about tea, how tea gets collected. For example, interesting stuff a tea lover might want to know. And after that, we add a form and enable people to sign up for our newsletter. So for signing up in the newsletter, we just need the email. So I'm going to delete all other form elements. And here we don't call this one button. We call this one send me tea knowledge. Okay, and here now, once you click the icon on the right side, you have the option to pick one of these mail providers. Feel free to pick whatever you want. And for example, if we go to MailChimp, you just have to add here now your API key, and then that would work. They would connect, and if people add in their email there, you get your leads in MailChimp. So learn all about T. What we want to do here, let's center this element a little bit more. So this looks nice. Okay, and let's publish the page. So we now have here our new home page. So we go into WordPress, settings, reading, and here we change from your latest posts to a static page and choose as home page our new home page. While we're here, let's change these 1 too, so we add them to 12, and we only want to show a summary. Save changes. So if we now go to visit our site, there you go. You see our new homepage. Looks a little bit different than the Blocksy page before, and now really invites people to learn more about your shop. You get your top products on the first page, and well, you can collect email addresses for your newsletter. So next thing we want to do is to build some trust with your clients. So we're going to add some more pages to your site. And we start with add new page, about us. And we save the draft. And now what we can do, what we want to keep intact is how this page looks. So how the feel of the page is. So what we're going to do, we're going here to edit the page with Brizy. And down here, save as layout. There. I'm going to click this one. Now you see the spinning wheel, and now Brizy is going to store all the information of all our blocks we used and make a special layout just for us in our local database. So if I'm here again in the About Us section, I'm going to edit the page, edit with Brizy. I now can click here, go to Layouts, no, Saved, and here Layouts, there. And here you see our freshly created homepage. So I'm going to add this one. And what we need to delete are the double-sided, the inner header and footer. And now we have here the same content as we have on our homepage. So now we have the same feel, the same look, and all we need to do is just change some images, change some texts, and we're done. So I'm going to create this page now, make some changes, and I don't want to bore you while I do that, so I'm going to speed up the video here a little bit, and we will be back once I'm done with this page. Okay, and we're back. I finished the About Us website. So we started with a hi there, nice to meet you. I'm Yoshi, and then some background information about the founder of this tea shop, why he wants to sell tea, why tea is important, and from that we go to tea is tradition. So here you can see we have a background image that scrolls with our section here, with our blog. So we make a harsh differentiation to the basic design of the website, so people, when they see this, when they see hit this block on the page, they know, okay, this is something very important. This is a little bit different from the overall feel of the website. So here, whatever is going on, this should be important for me too. What you can do to make this a little bit more standing out, we can add here now a mask. And by using the mask, let's add this background. And now we can choose, for example, now you see the tea's tradition with the tea fields behind. But personally, I think the masks are, well, quite tricky sometimes. Well, this looks maybe a little bit better, but personally, I would be careful if you work with masks or not. Personally, I think a nice shadow adds more here. Sometimes less is more. Okay, so this is now our tea is tradition section. And here down below we have the our promise to you, and we're back in this friendly setup. You have a very traditional picture there, and the invitation to visit the Facebook page, the Twitter page, or the Instagram page, and then people also can follow there. And this is the About Us section. So this page is done. Let's publish this one. And as you've seen, now we've been working with the way to save a layout. You learned a little bit about the backgrounds, how you can work with some background effects, for example. What we could do here to make this a little bit more interesting, for example, we can say, let's make this animated. And now if people scroll through, you have there a little bit more transition. So maybe that looks nice. Okay, so let's close all the stuff we have there. And now it's time to set up our menus. So let's jump back into WordPress, appearance, menus. And first of all, we have our main menu. So we call this one main menu. Save. And in the main menu, we want to show the home and the About Us. So these are the main things right now we have. And of course, the shop. Okay, so these are now our menus for the header menu. And let's add here display location header menu 1. This is a Blocksy thing, but it will still help to have a fallback, for example, on a mobile, or if someone uses a special browser that has AMP functionality inside and stuff like that. So never trust only on the layout things for one thing. If you have the option to create a little fallback, a backup, so to say, use it. Okay, this now is our main menu. We also need to create a second menu, and we call this one Meta. Create menu, and there we now have here some WooCommerce endpoints. For example, let's add the logout. account details, and for example, orders and downloads. So people know exactly what to expect here. And let's save the menu. Now we have our two menus created. Let's jump back into one of our pages. I'm going to pick the home page. And here we are going to add the header into the header, and there we add our menu. So here we want to have our main menu, and this one is becoming our meta menu. There we go. Okay, now we can tweak the look and the design of our header a little bit more. You can keep it white, but I'm personally not very sure about that. So I was thinking also to make this one green, well, maybe light green. So we have a little bit difference between the header and the footer. I think this already looks nice. The only problem is now that our text is gone once we hover over it. So I click on now this home here on the color, and now we have here hover, and as you can see, I'm now picking white, and now we have it all in white. And once we have an active one, let's pick purple. So now you see our header text is now always in black. Once we hover over it, it is white, and the page we are currently on now is in purple. I want to have it a little bit larger so it's easier to read and to click. And for example, with the shop, let's also add an icon. And I want a cart. No, let's not use a card. That might just confuse. Well, let's add this one there. Good. Size we want to have a little bit larger, so you see this sticks together. And let's see if we also have a card. Yeah, we have a card symbol also here. So to add this one, we need to duplicate and delete that one. Now rearrange everything a little bit and add the cart. There we go. Okay, currently no products in the cart. We want the subtotal cart items, so it shows us exactly how many items we have. Icon is okay. Background, yeah, well, I want it in the same background as our header. So this looks good. Total is in that's the first thing here. So see, now it's purple. Okay, we want that in that color. That's nice. Hover, we want it in white. The icon can stay as is, and the border we now have in black. And once we hover, I want it white. Okay, good. Let's make the icon white too. So, okay, now we have this one there. So let's have a look here. So this is black. We have no hover. Good. Let's update. And let's have a look on our website. Okay, here we can add a link to our site URL and make that no follow. Okay, so let's have a look on our website as it looks right now. Visit page. Okay, this now is our website. We have here our orders, downloads, account details. As you can see, it jumps to the right section, but we are still looking here at Blocksy. Same goes for the orders. You see again Blocksy. Okay, so we are basically done with the website. So this is the end of part 2. Again, as a reminder, if you don't want to rebuild the stuff I created right now, if you want everything a little bit faster, so you just can use my templates and change your texts and images, if you're a member of our community, and you can download everything I create in our tutorials, and you get it in a nice and nifty one-click installer, so you can fiddle around with these demos and these templates and add them to your own cloud. So I hope you learned a little bit, maybe some things you didn't know about how to create or work on a page with Brizy. And in part 3, we will go and create the e-commerce shop system with Brizy.